Good evening and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. We now just have 6 days left in Trump's presidency, but as we all know, a lot can happen between now and Wednesday at noon when Joe Biden gets sworn in. Tonight, I'll be speaking with two Democratic congressmen about why they voted to impeach Donald Trump, the allegations that some of their colleagues across the aisle may have actually aided the rioters, and much more. Also, as we learn more and more about the attack on the Capitol, how is it possible that law enforcement did not coordinate with each other to help stop it and see it coming, as well as do a better job of handling it? Also, any argument that Trump didn't gin up the violence in Washington last week does not hold water. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean with a huge chunk of what he said before the riot, and then you can judge for yourself. Now, yet another disturbing aspect of the attack on the Hill is whether or not some Republican lawmakers aided and abetted the rioters. James Clyburn, he was the first to float the possibility. Then, New Jersey Congresswoman and former Navy chopper pilot Mikey Sherrill said this.
Those members of Congress who had groups coming through the Capitol that I saw on January 5th, a reconnaissance for the next day, those members of Congress that incited this violent crowd.
Plus, take a listen to what Cedric Richmond of Louisiana said during the impeachment debate yesterday.
Some of my colleagues, some of which may well be co-conspirators, in their latest attempt to placate and please this unfit president, suggest that we shouldn't punish Trump for his actions in order to unify the country. That is the climax of foolishness.
And now, dozens of Democratic lawmakers, they're demanding an investigation into whether or not people across the aisle, that meaning sitting Republican congressmen, showed some of the rioters around in advance of the rally, helping them to case out the Capitol. I kid you not. On the floor yesterday, my next guest, he called out GOP hypocrisy.
Let's be clear. Cause and effect. Rally at the White House, march down Pennsylvania Avenue, a parade in reverse, and an attack to this chamber. A police officer was killed. And what I hear is time to heal. He's not even buried yet. It's clear and present danger. No one is above the law. Not the president if he has 4 years or 4 days.
Let's bring him in now. That's Congressman Donald Norcross, a Democrat from New Jersey. Congressman, let me start right there with you. I couldn't believe what I was hearing from some of the same folks who've been egging this thing on since before the election, once the election came in, that this was some stolen election, fraud, don't believe the courts, don't believe in fellow Republican Secretary of State who certified the thing, don't believe anyone, that Trump was some victim of great theft in terms of election history in this country. And they turn around yesterday and tell you and everybody else, you know, we can't have any debates, we can't talk impeachment, we got to all come together. I got to imagine that was genuine outrage you had yesterday.
You caught that exactly right. 3 years, 11 months, and 18 days, and now they want to talk about this? Let's get back to what happened here. There was an attack on the Capitol. That symbol of democracy around the world, literally breaking into it and trying to capture and hang the speaker. This is what their words were. Right down the street, half hour before that, the president inciting that riot. Literally, cause, effect. He has to be held accountable. This is not time for healing. We're still finding out what happened. And some of the reports are not good, I will tell you that.
No, let me get to some of the reports, because I gave my audience reasonable and responsible people. A colleague of yours, Mikey Sherrill, we've had on the program before, a veteran herself, not a flamethrower, if you will. She, Congressman Clyburn, you have Capitol Hill Police now saying that they have real concerns that basically the Capitol might have been cased with the help of some Republican congressman. Now, you guys haven't been able to do tours on the Hill since last March, but somehow the day before this event, people were being walked around the Hill seemingly learning, and I've been on the Hill many times, you need a roadmap to find out where you're going half the time, finding unmarked offices. I mean, How do you go back to work, Congressman, looking at the Mo Brookses of the world and saying, could there be an enemy within?
We go back to work because it's our job and it's our responsibility to not only our constituents, but the U.S. But I do look over my shoulder now more than ever. I know freshmen that can't find their way around the Capitol. For certain individuals to come in to find these offices that are not easy to get to just screams that something else went on. Mikey, I haven't spoken to her about this issue, but as you said, thoughtful, insightful, and not a flamethrower. So we're getting many reports now of what might have happened. And I'll tell you what, we're usually prepared for the enemy without, the Russian, the Chinese, the Iranians, but the person from within, it's hard to believe that we're living in the United States. The last time we had an attack on the Capitol was the British. Now we attacked ourselves. And it all draws back to one person, Donald Trump. He's not above the law. He's not God. He's going to be held accountable.
But you know what, Congressman? You're right. But people had a choice yesterday. And I give credit to the 10 Republicans who put country before party, and they voted to impeach. But a huge number of them, fine, I'll give a pass to the ones who said the president did something wrong. They might not have agreed with the process. They thought there should have been a trial. They wouldn't go there, but at least they condemned his actions. You have 20, and I'll use the words, unmitigated morons who won't go through metal detectors after what happened, who your colleague, a cancer survivor, a 75-year-old Bonnie Watson-Coleman, contracting COVID because when they were hiding from the attackers, your colleagues on the Republican side, some of them, wouldn't even wear masks. And I got to tell you, I don't always agree with AOC. I think she had a legitimate worry where she had to leave a room with them because she was concerned they were going to out her whereabouts to the mob. Again, yes, the president, he owns this, but he has still to this day a lot of other people who not only excuse it, but won't go on the work of trying to bring this country together. In fact, they keep fanning the flames.
Well, you bring up a number of points. I was really shocked that there was only 10 members who voted for the impeachment. But let's go back a little bit further because I was there. We're not talking third parties when we were literally getting chased off the floor as they were breaking into the chamber. What I thought was glass breaking was a shot being fired for that one individual who was literally diving into the room. So Bonnie, myself, and others were part of the member delegation that was sheltered into place into that room that they're talking about. We now have 3 confirmed cases. You know, it's bad enough that they broke into the Capitol and tried to attack the representatives of their district. They put us in place, and now we have to worry about our own colleagues not wearing masks. They were asked 3 times to put them on. They were offered masks, and now Bonnie has it. I got tested 2 days ago. Luckily, I came up negative, but it's bad enough we had the pandemic when we're doing the right things. We have to worry about being killed by mobs, and now our own members who are going around the security measures. Why? What are you hiding? Or is your ego that big you don't have to do it? Either way, it's wrong.
I want to play a soundbite from you. This is from a freshman Republican from Michigan, Congressman Meyer. He talked about, in the end, he was one of the 10 who voted for impeachment. But he says his vote will come with a real risk, and he thinks a lot of other members felt the same way but wouldn't vote the way he did because of these fears.
I was one of 9 freshmen to vote to certify the election and not to vote to overturn it. And a lot of us are talking amongst ourselves, concerned about our security. Some have already experienced death threats, have been put under armed guard. Our expectation is that folks will try to kill us.
When the cameras aren't on, do you hear Republicans telling you, Congressman, listen, I'm with you. What he did was impeachable. My God, if this isn't impeachable, what is? But I can't vote to impeach because I'm worried. I'm worried about my safety, my family's safety, et cetera, let alone being primaried or losing a job.
Well, I'd like to say it's a lot more. And years, again, this is 4 years of information where it got worse each and every time. Very few are talking the way he is, and obviously their numbers are that way, but they are scared of the mob rule taking them out in a primary. And listen, I've had to take tough votes. I've gone against our president back when Obama was there. It was not pleasant, but that's what we're supposed to do. Make those tough decisions, not worry about your next primary. If it happens, it happens.
Hey, Congressman, I appreciate what you said yesterday on the floor, and I appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, everyone, when we come back, we've been playing short clips of what the president told the crowd right before the riot, and I believe, without debate, they're damning enough. But when you come back, I'm going to play for you much larger chunk, and you be your own judge if you think what he said incited a riot.